도제 상기 곰팡유 독쇼. Let's do the four limitless contemplations. May all beings have happiness and create the causes of happiness. May they all be free from suffering and creating the causes of suffering. May they find that noble happiness which can never be tainted by suffering. May they attain universal impartial compassion, free of worldly bias towards friends and enemies. Sem jendam je dewatang dewe jutang den pa juchik, dungal tang dungal chik jutang drawa juchik, dungal mepe dewa tampatang mindrawa juchik, nering chaktang nitang drawe tang rum chembo lani pa juchik. So everybody, we will continue, but I called it a little bit of a different topic so that each one can stand by themselves. So today we're going to do key Buddhist quotations to transport us to mountaintops. Okay, and please, a few of you, put on your cameras so that I can see you at least. I mean, I'm talking to a whole pile of names and no cameras. Okay, so I'm going to start today with a very, very lovely story called The Butterfly and the Wind, a lesson in freedom. And it goes like this. Once upon a time, there was a monk named Kimon who walked through the temple garden every morning. One day he noticed a small crippled butterfly struggling desperately to fly. But every time it tried, the wind blew it away, leaving it helplessly whirling through the air. Day after day, Kimon saw the little butterfly struggling. With a heavy heart, he decided to help it. He built a small windbreak out of bamboo and placed the butterfly safely inside. But even in this protected environment, the butterfly only fluttered fearfully on the spot. He was confused. Why didn't the butterfly want to fly now that the wind was no longer in its way? He meditated on this mystery and asked for enlightenment. After many days of contemplation, a sudden realization came to him. The wind was not the butterfly's obstacle, but its source of strength. The butterfly needed the wind to learn how to fly. It needed the resistance to become stronger. By removing the wind, Kimon had not helped it, but rather taken away its opportunity to learn and grow. With this new insight, Kimon opened the windbreak and released the butterfly. At first, the butterfly was still unsteady and trembled under the force of the wind. But with each attempt to fly against the wind, its wings grew stronger and its flight more confident. Finally, the butterfly fluttered freely and confidently through the wind, a shining symbol of freedom and strength. And so Kimon realized that true freedom is not in removing obstacles, but in overcoming them and thereby growing. And I think it's also having a lot of courage and courage not to remove the difficulties from your life, but to actually go through the difficulties and really, really, really see what you are doing in that mirror-like wisdom. Because when you throw away your struggles or induce someone else to make it much easier for you, you're not really helping yourself. Because our struggles take us to the view at the top of the mountain. Let's not get rid of them. But when it comes from the struggle, your nature is able to find itself, your true nature. And when you look at nature outside, it also demonstrates this to us all the time. If you look at the word nature and you look at the word natural, they're the same. But we often don't learn the lessons right in front of our eyes. It's very, very interesting because someone texted me today and said, I was talking about not killing insects if one could possibly help it, and that it was really important not to kill insects and to save them if you could, which really was very helpful. But, this guy said he had fish moths and a whole lot of other things in his house. And what was he do? Should he kill them? Or, his wife wanted to kill them. And I said, you know what? We do the best we can to save as many insects as we like. Once when I had many ants in my shrine room, I didn't kill them and I asked for help, and the help actually took the ants away somehow or another, like miraculously. So I think it's really good to actually understand that our difficulties, the challenges, really give us the lessons. And when we see it, even when I'm looking in my garden now and it's coming to the end of summer and all these beautiful flowers are starting to fade, it's all part of what we have to do with our difficulties, really great difficulties. That's the time to actually allow them to be. So let's just do a 2-minute meditation, everybody, and then I'm going to go on. I've got thousands of quotations, but we'll choose some of the better ones and look at them and really debate them. And you are welcome to come in at any time. You really, really are. But as I said, it would be nice if you turned on your cameras. It helps me a lot. So let's do a little meditation on that. So I want you to just breathe in and breathe out. And at every moment in your life, just try and remember who you really are. Try and remember your nature that knows, your nature that's got awareness, that knows why this hardship is in front of you, that can work through you to actually be able to accept the challenge and use it to your benefit. So I want all of you, as you breathe in, to allow that beautiful, spacious nature, and just put your latest real difficulty in front of you. Whatever it is that you're struggling with, just put it in front of you, whether it's illness, whether it's finances, whatever it is, just put it in front of you. Don't go and pick it up. Just observe. Like the old man sitting at the bus stop, watching the children go by. Not judging them, not picking them up, not working it out. Just let it be. So whatever is your biggest challenge, try not to think too hard about it. Try and pull your mind back and just observe it. Nothing more. Now you have awareness that it's there, not feeling sorry for yourself, but knowing that from this you are really going to be able to go forward in a wonderful way, stronger, right at the top of the mountain. No analysis, allowing that strength of your true nature to do what it needs to do without you thinking, analyzing, and working out. Very difficult, I know. We'll do a few meditations. Okay, so the next quote, the first quote that I want to do is a very interesting one, and you have to debate it, okay? It's by Tulku Urgyen Rinpoche, and it is on obtaining a human birth. If you knew how important obtaining a human birth was, out of all the realms of samsara, the human has the best opportunity. And I look at this little one, and I always say, my boy, we're going to get rid of your arrogance and your obstinacy and your aggression. Those are his qualities. I could see he had them in a human life. Now he's got to go back to a human life where he can have the choices of what he wants. Okay? But this is the quote, and I want you to discuss it with me. Having obtained the supreme freedoms, like, if you're really challenged in your life and you haven't got money and you haven't got anything, you haven't got much time to do the Dharma. If you've got a whole lot of children and you haven't got money and things like that. But having obtained the supreme freedoms and favorable conditions. Okay, so when you come to the Dharma, like all of you have, you've really found favorable conditions and freedoms. That's first of all. Secondly, and being wary of impermanence. So knowing everything in your life, from your children to your grandchildren to your life, your home, to everything is impermanent, completely and totally. So having obtained the supreme freedoms and favorable conditions and being wary of impermanence, through intense renunciation, endeavor in accepting and rejecting what concerns cause and effect. Now, why has he said, when you've got the precious freedom of this thing and you know everything's impermanent and you have to renunciate a lot of things in your life, then you endeavor to accept and reject the cause and effect, what concerns cause and effect. Why? Why accept and reject? It's a very good quote, that. Why do we accept and reject what concerns cause and effect? Anyone?
One test. Everything doesn't matter. What you're
Okay.
going through.
Okay, good. But why do you accept it and reject it? Yeah, that's true.
So that you don't attach. No attachment.
Okay. So what does it mean that you accept cause and effect and then you reject cause and effect? Well, I mean, yeah. Why does he say accept and then he says and reject? I mean, surely if we look at our lives, most of us sitting here really know that we have been put into this situation, this difficult situation, because of cause and effect. This is our creation. Now, when do we reject that? I agree with you with the one taste, but when do we reject cause and effect?
Because you can't allow it to impede your dealing with the situation.
Okay, did you hear that? Because you can't allow it to impede your dealing with the situation. What else? It's very important, this, because it will help you a lot when you're going through difficult times. Why reject, Mimi?
Thinking, perhaps to open and clarify our minds, to allow us to go forward. So you can reject in that way.
Okay, but I want a definite why he's put accept and reject. Very important. What Byrne said is very true. But why does he put accept and reject? What else? Voice comes late. Anyone? Now think about this, everybody. Because if you really understand this, as soon as you go to your own true nature, there is no cause and effect. So cause and effect is totally rejected by your true nature. It's only there if you are living on a relative level. Hello, Abby, coming to you, Nat. If you're living on a relative level, then you are you have to accept it. This is my creation. But what when you go to an ultimate level? Nat, please.
I would say accepting this life's karmic imprints, complete acceptance.
Okay, good.
And then complete rejection is when we die and return to the five essences, that we could we could reject. If we've worked hard on the karmic imprints, we could reject coming back as such.
Well, I like that. That's a very well thought out. That's a very well thought out thing. I don't think he was meaning this, but I think that is quite brilliant, because basically, when you die, you should leave the cause and effect. But probably, if you don't get to the right, if you don't get through the bardos, or you land up in the bardo becoming, just mute yourself so that when I'm talking, because otherwise the video goes funny. When you are there, then I suppose that could be very, very, very so. But what I think Tulku Urgent is meaning very much is that as soon as you go to a level of the ultimate, the causes and conditions fall away. You could say when you died, but you could even say when you were alive. Because you do have the responsibility of the cause and effect, but you know they're temporary, they're transient, they don't really exist per se. They exist because we're living in a relative world, but I am sick and tired of living in a relative world. Okay, I'm sick and tired of it. I really, really am. I know that these people who are awakened never see impurity. Oh my goodness, I don't want to see impurity anymore. I want to attend to it, but I don't want to see it like that. I want to go beyond causes and effects. I think what you're all saying is very, very interesting and well thought out. Let's go to the next quote. Okay. This is another quote by Tulku Urgent Rinpoche, which takes you from the ultimate to the relative, or the relative to the ultimate. But let me give you this quote, which is really beautiful, about the three kayas. The three kayas are the Dharmakaya, or your essence, the Sambhogakaya, or your luminous awareness, and the Nirmanakaya, the full manifestation of what you actually have. So this is the quote. Whatever exists and appears, meaning the perceived and the perceiver, everything takes place in the sphere of the three kayas. Everything. And originates from the three kayas, takes place within the three kayas, and dissolves back into the sphere of the three kayas. This is how things remain, appear, and disappear. And this is what he calls the Vajrayana perspective. Now, I've taken another quote by him to help you with this, because once you understand that everything comes out purely from the Dharmakaya, it's luminous, it's aware, and then from those comes the Nirmanakaya, who is coming to really help all sentient beings. So this is another one of his things. Sentient beings can be enlightened because samsara and nirvana are pervaded by the three kayas. All worlds and beings dissolve and unfold within the sphere of the three kayas. Thus, everything, even the horrible things we're seeing, is originally and still utterly pure. It's pure. Can you believe that some of the things we are seeing are pure? But the essence of our mind is the three kayas. So recognizing and stabilizing, we can become enlightened. That's why we practice the Dharma. But if you take the quote from the Tara, if you take the quote from the Tara thing, it says, Tam, which is her seed syllable, the unborn clear light expanse of Dharmakaya, arises as unobstructive jnana wisdom body of the Arya, as the network of manifestations, whatever will tame beings. And then you go, come, Arya Tara. It's quite a beautiful thing, because what we understand in this is that whatever we're seeing is not like that. It's just that we're seeing it with our impure mind. But once you understand the three kayas and how they originate from your essence, Dharmakaya, to the expression which is luminous and pure and aware, to the manifestation on the relative level, even though you are not relatively caught in the causes and conditions. It's very exquisite. You know, so we went out with a very religious Jewish couple, okay, and he was talking about how God, which in the Jewish religion is called Hashem, the name, because you don't say God, you say Hashem. And he's talking to me and he's saying, well, Hashem said this and this and this and gave us this and this and this. And I just said a very small comment back. I just said, you know, that's very interesting. But don't you think when you come to a particular point in your own evolvement and development, suddenly Hashem is not out there, it's in there. He couldn't get that. Okay, he still said, yeah, but he's written all the words. And I said, I understand that. But one day, but he did say to his wife, you know, I think Melanie's very spiritual. I thought it was quite funny, you know, because, you know, he said about me, he thinks I'm very spiritual. I had a little chuckle under my breath, but I just throw out a little challenge, you know, a little challenge. Because as soon as you're in a religion, it becomes dualistic. Now it's not about the essence. The essence is expression and the manifestation of that. It's not about that. When you're in a religion, it's about what God, this being. I mean, when I was a little girl, I really imagined that God was this being with a long white beard who dished everything out. I really believed that. But actually, you can see the duality, you know, without understanding that. But if you get just this quote today, it's the most amazing, amazing thing, because it changes absolutely everything in your life. So, and I'll throw it open now. So, when we look at taking refuge, what does taking refuge really mean? Taking refuge means you're in a storm, okay, and you run to a little place under a tree or a cave or a house or somewhere where you take refuge. You take refuge from the storm. Now, Buddhism tells you to take refuge, but it does it on three different levels. It does it on an outer level. That's your dualistic nature, okay, what I've been talking about now. It does it on an outer level. It does it on an inner level. And it does it on a secret level. Now, I'm going to say all three. And then you decide for yourself which you really like for you. Okay, because this is how it goes. In the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, I take refuge until I get enlightened. Now that's your dualistic thing. You've got the Buddha, you've got the community, and you've got the teaching. And you take refuge in that. And that's perfectly beautiful. And for those of you who want to do that, that's absolutely fine. And I have no problem with it. The inner way of taking refuge, now you are going from the lower yanas, you're going to the Vajrayana, to a higher level. And you go, I take refuge in the Guru. I take refuge in the Yidam, which is the deity. I take refuge in the Dakini, which is the realized Sangha. Okay? So now you're going from completely external. Now you're actually seeing something. You're seeing the deity, you're seeing the Guru, and you're seeing the realized Sangha, which is represented by the Dakini. Now let's go to the secret one, and then I'll throw it open for discussion. The secret one goes like this. Namo, in the empty essence, Dharmakaya, in the luminous nature, Sambhokakaya, in the manifold capacity, Nirmanakaya, I take refuge until enlightenment. Now that third one includes all the others, the outer and the inner. It includes all three. Why? Because everything originates in the three kayas, starts from the three kayas, manifests, and then goes back to the three kayas. So when you take your refuge, your secret refuge on those three, you are actually taking ultimate refuge, which means it incorporates all the other refuges. The two others are included in that. So for me, this is really important, because when I get to do my prostrations in the morning, I always do it with the secret one. I always do it with in the empty essence, Dhammakaya, in the luminous, or in the luminous, or sometimes it's called the okay, just let's do that. In the luminous nature of the Sambhokakaya, and in the manifestation of the Nirmanakaya, I take refuge until enlightened. Once you're enlightened, you don't need any refuge. But the point is, I'm just trying today to just lift your minds a little bit, because a lot of you are really ready to go that extra step, that extra mile. And yes, it's perfectly fine if you take refuge in either of the other ways. It's perfectly fine. But it's really important that you begin to understand this whole refuge business. Can I throw it out? Does anyone want to ask or say? It's really important, this. Because this is like the basis of all your Buddha Dharma, all your practice. Anyone want to ask or say anything? Don't be shy, because that's how you actually understand these things when you talk about yours. Go, Karen.
Yes, Mel, I just want to talk about when you're talking about the secret refuge and inner refuge, is basically taking refuge in one's mind, one's own mind.
Exactly.
And so you have done so much teaching on mind, and I think so that is it really. You don't even have to go and elaborate on anything else in refuge, because it becomes too impossible. You've been going on about primordial purity and using the word purity. So again, when one understands purity, then we don't have karma. It's just something I want to say. Everything really is taking place in the ultimate reality.
Yeah.
And even, I know I've mentioned this so often, and so have you, that even samsara and nirvana don't exist. And just another thing about God, we think of God as a creator. If you're going Dzogchen and Samantabhadra, who is actually the all-creative king, if I remember correctly,
correct,
that is also that is equivalent to God.
Completely and totally.
I'm just try and making it tangible for somebody, hopefully, that it's not complex. So if you have a idea or ideal on God, try and switch it to Samantha Bhadra, who created everything
in you.
I'm not even going into Tigley's, but he did create everything and he took it all in and he put it back into Tigley's, and then he said, okay, I'm going to send out all these retinues of emotions, all the retinues, which was the Sambhogakaya, which is no different to the stories that come out of Adam and Eve or God. That's just what I want to say.
Beautiful. I love what you're saying. And the thing is that you see, even with Samanta Bhadra, Samanta Bhadra is the same as Kunta Zangpo. When we
Yes.
do the Kunta Zangpo prayer last week or whenever it was that we did it, okay, you're looking at your own awakened nature. So God is your own awakened nature, out of which everything. And people say, well, there's got to we have the rabbi for dinner, and the rabbi, we have these long debates, but I'm very, very careful with him. I don't antagonize. I just say little things, to make him think. But when you are totally dependent on an outside source to give you the text, to give you absolutely everything, you're not developing your potential. And that's why I put all this together, because I want you to see that it is that Samanta Bhadra and Samanta Badri are your own awakened nature, or Kunta Zangpo and Kunta Zang, whatever, Kunta Zangmo. They are your own,
Tibetan.
yeah, the Tibetan, they're your own nature. That's what Karen's saying. And when you know you've got your own nature, what is possible for you?
Okay.
What is possible for you? I'm asking that question to you. Because once you've got that, you can manifest whatever you want. Now, I think I put it into tomorrow night's thing on being able to manifest things. Do you know, if you want to manifest something because you haven't got a job, or you haven't got a home, or you haven't got a this, or you haven't got a that, if you manifest things and they are in alignment with what you are giving, they are in alignment with you, they can manifest. And it's so interesting because, these awakened beings, they manifest all things. And I was talking to someone, I don't know who it was, about Jesus. And I said, when Jesus, who for me was an absolute Buddha, he was a Buddha, there's no doubt, he went to the East, what happened when Jesus was going to feed all these masses of people, and he had one fish, one glass of wine or whatever, one loaf of bread, and he multiplied it. So people think, oh, it's just a story. It's not a story, because from your awakened nature, you can manifest what you need. And more as you go on the journey, you actually realize how much, when you are in touch with that nature, how much you can manifest in your life of what you need. And if it doesn't manifest, then you also know that this is exactly how it has to be for me. Because this is what I'm learning. Learn it quick and move through and go to somewhere else after that. Anyone want to say anything? I'm going to give you the next quote. Iga, I can see that you're bursting. Why don't you say something? Come on, Iga, I'm waiting for you.
Very much so resonates with me. I guess with all the circumstances that I have been through for the past almost like 2 years, but it's like a journey that you actually believe in the, I'm speaking for myself.
You do that. It's beautiful. I love what you do.
The true nature that you do have the power in manifesting, but like you said, also like to align with your what you need actually. And
Yes.
if it's not happening, then it's the wisdom, the learning experience.
100%.
Mm.
So, what do you do when your parents tell you you're such a bad girl because you're not doing 500 rosaries and you're not doing all the things you're supposed to do? How do you see that eventually?
Also, like I'm coming in because actually that's it's just vanished. In my case, it was just totally accepted my mother or uh, my past, but also it just taking the power in my hand.
Beautiful.
Mhm.
Beautiful. And that's what's so important about all of this. You know, that you can also have total compassion for people that can't see you for who you are. Instead of wanting to retaliate, you actually have total compassion for them. That's what you're actually saying, that you don't look at it like that. You're able to nurture yourself and bring yourself to where you need to be because you have those three kayas. You are made of the three kayas. Everything is the three kayas. And I want to read you. This came from this beautiful article. I once taught it to you, but it was by Tulku Urgent. It was called The True View. Most beautiful article. But I just want to read you one paragraph. He said, enlightenment is like awakening from sleep. The thinking mind creates all perceptions and phenomena of daily life, just as whatever you experience at night is created by sleep. When awakening from sleep, the dream disappears. You know, you can be having this real tangible dream, and then you wake up and the dream's gone. He says, likewise, nothing remains of this present confusion when the distorted experience and thinking are completely cleared away. It's exactly like awakening from a dream. He said the manifestations of phenomena are merely the display of rainbow light. Nothing else. Even the evil people that you see, evil people, they also rainbow light. When there is no manifestation, there's just a space of primordial purity. So interesting. So we actually, I've been doing it a lot in my daily life, everybody. I've been in my daily life going like this a lot. Oh, well, it's just a dream. And I've told you that when I see, I get on, I don't know how they put the photos together on your computer, on your phone. I don't know how they do it, how this AI does it or anyone. All I know is I get these notifications. It's the 7th of February. And then it's got all your things from the 7th of February for the last who knows how many years. It's such an amazing training because I'm going boom. And then it's even got music, and I'm watching my life on the 7th of February for the last 20 years. Where did it go? How did that little baby become grown up that I was holding in my arms? How did I get so old? Where did it all go? How did it all go? You see, it's all a dream. Now, I've been saying to myself, because I'm teaching this and doing it, I've been saying, I must wake up from the dream. I must wake up from the dream. This is just a dream. When I watch all the days going by, this difficulty that you're dealing with is just a dream. 1 minute and it's all going to be gone. And did I deal with it correctly? Was I a near Manakaya when I dealt with it? Or was I fierce Melanie shouting and screaming and defending myself? I really want so much to be a being that touches the hearts of lots and lots and lots of being. And because I really want that, it's happening to me more and more and more in samsara. If I had to tell you what happened over lunch yesterday, you'd all go, wow. But over lunch, non-Buddhist people, I think they all got a bit of spirituality, but non-Buddhist people, something just came to me while we were having lunch. And I just put it out. And this guy said, oh my goodness, you spot on, was really bowled over, and then came to me a little later and said, can I come and talk to you about that, even though it's a relative of ours, can I come and talk to you about that? And I said, of course you can. But it was so important because it's just clear that when you're not thinking with your physical being in the causes and effects of the relative being, then suddenly you are able to have insight into things. And then that changes everything for you. And it changes how you relate to people. And it changes your role even with ordinary people. You are not spiritual with your non-Buddhist friends. It changes your whole role. So I want to do a Dajjam Rinpoche quote. And before I do, does anyone want to say anything? Because this is really important for all of you. In fact, let's do a meditation on it. I want you to breathe in. And I want you to keep remembering to remind yourself who you really are. Not this temporary, impermanent character in a dream-like play. That's not you. That's just who you are in this role, in this life. It's a role. And most of us, our roles are to do with ego. I want, I must have, I'm protecting, I want this. Every day I'm asking the medicine Buddha to heal all the people's egos, because ego never did exist, never will exist, never does exist. But we think it does. And we spend all our energy protecting it in an unbelievable way. So just for a moment, I want you to just imagine how you are as an awakened being. Put your shoulders back. Put your spinal column in a right manner, so the energy winds can flow through you, and see you walking through your whole life in touch with the three kayas of your being. My essence, Dharmakaya, which is God, which is all the beings, are Dharmakaya. We all connected with Dharmakaya. I'm Dharmakaya. It works through me all the time. And its expression, rainbow light. Oh, I'm made of rainbow light, not this physical fatigue and exhaustion that we sometimes feel. I'm made of rainbow light. What does that mean? It means I'm luminous. It means I'm aware. It means I'm pure. I'm just the beautiful Dharmakaya, which always was pure, always was perfect. And when I die, and this physical body dies, and all the elements dissolve, and the body gets put underground or in a crematorium, I could be made of this pure rainbow light. Pure, luminous rainbow light. And from those two, the Nirmanakaya can manifest. The Nirmanakaya can do everything that is required of it. It can multiply itself by 1,000, by 1,000,000, by several million. It can be in 100 places at the same time. It can be sitting in one spot and yet be everywhere else. It can pick up and touch all the pain of all sentient beings. If it wants to turn itself into medicine, it can turn itself into medicine. If it wants to become a house, a bridge for someone that needs to cross over the river, it can become a bridge. It can manifest anything. If people are starving, it can take into its hand and manifest food for them and awakening for them. That's who you are. Don't limit yourself, but remind yourself every day to touch that awakened nature when you're down, when you feel you're awful, when you feel you've lost out, when you feel you can't manifest. Realize that is who each of us are, and we're all joined. There is no separation between us. Whatever is outside is inside. Whatever is inside is outside. It's all joined together by this beautiful essence. Never forget it. Never forget it. When you're about to trip yourself up, stop and say, but I can resolve this. I'm able to. It never was anything tangible. If I'm attached to something, if I'm addicted to something, whatever I am, I have that beautiful nature that needs to work through me. I just want to read you a beautiful short thing of Dajjal Rinpoche. Now, if all of you know, in Buddhism, there's the view, that's how you see things. There's the meditation, that's how you practice to see the view. There's the conduct, that's how you behave from the view. And there is the result, the fruition. Those four: view, practice or meditation, conduct or behavior, and result or fruition. So this is his thing. And remember this, it's really a beautiful expression. If there is partiality, that means I like this and I don't like this. I want to be friendly with this and I don't want to be friendly. If there is partiality, it is not the view. You haven't hit on it. If there's partiality, it is not the view. If there are reference points, now we all need reference points at the beginning of the practice, but we're talking about later. If there are reference points, it is not meditation. So when you're still saying, I must get my mind out of this, I must be still, I must be perfect, I must be this, not the meditation. He says, if there are reference points, you're still learning to get there. Okay? So if there's partiality, it's not the view. If there are reference points, it's not the meditation, because the meditation is beyond reference point. If there is a mere outward show, it is not the conduct. It's not the behavior. You know, some people will do what they think people want them to do, or they'll have an outer conduct, not the behavior. Remember we did if I were a Buddha, not the behavior. If it's just outer conduct that doesn't come from inside, it's an outward show, it's not the conduct. And lastly, if there is hope and pretentiousness, it's not the result. If there's partiality, it's not the view. If there's reference point, it's not the meditation. That's why in Dzogchen it's called non-meditation. If it's a mere outward show, it's not the conduct. If there's hope and pretentiousness, it's not the result. It's an amazing, amazing quote. Comes from, where did it come from? I can't remember, but it's Dajjam Rinpoche's thing, one of his wonderful texts. Anyone want to say anything? Ask, say, how do you apply it? How do you get there? What do you do? Are you all totally knowledgeable? Do you know how to get rid of all these things? Do you know how to become impartial? Do you know how to not just have outward conduct?
Melanie,
Please.
I found the one where you said not to be hopeful
Yeah.
quite interesting and difficult.
Very interesting and very difficult, because in samsara, on a relative level, everything is, I hope for this, I don't want this, I hope this will happen. Now you might say to yourself, so what, are you not meant to have any hope? You are meant to have hope, but not hope that is attached to an outcome. So when the hope becomes an aspiration, that's fine. So what you're saying is, if let's say you need to fix a relationship, or let's say you need to get rid of something or whatever, you make the aspiration, I really am going to work to get this out of the way, whatever the case is. But what people do is, what he's talking about in hope, he's got more things on hope. He says, do not hope or fear for good or bad outcomes. Regardless of what formulation of thought occurs, they arise and are liberated simultaneously. So what he's saying is, most people hope for a particular outcome. And then as soon as the particular outcome doesn't happen, they lapse into disappointment, fears, condemning of themselves, all the things. Meanwhile, that was exactly how it was. Maybe when someone else was trying to do something in a previous life or this life, we just took it away from them. So maybe we're learning that in the mirror. Such an interesting thing, because they say hope and fear, both of those are not, but what we're not hoping for is a particular outcome. We're aspiring for the outcome, but we're not hoping that it happens. We're just aspiring for it. And if it happens, it happens. And if it doesn't, we go another route. It's okay. It's very important that, because most people hang on to hope and then are always disappointed. And then from the disappointment comes all the difficulties, all the problems, because it didn't work out the way you wanted it to. Sense to you, Nat? Does it make sense to you, or is it difficult still?
Yes, no, that was a lovely answer.
Okay, good. Good. Because that's really important. Don't hold out for outcomes. Aspire to your outcomes. Nothing wrong. I want to teach better and better every day, every time. I want to teach deeper and deeper. So someone texted me and said, "Oh, but why don't you have all the people that these other lamas get when they teach?" So I said, you see, that is based on your limited view of the ego. It's got nothing to do with ego. I said to this person, if I am able to even make one person realize one thing, then I've done more than my fair share. It's not about thousands of people or whatever. We've all had incarnations. I've had in this incarnation times. Now I want the people that are really devoted to really get to change their inner beings. That's my most important thing. And then when I'm finished in this life, if I can be, let's not even use the word successful for Natalie, but if I can be aspirational about doing it, then I'm going straight in my mind to Guru Rinpoche's Pure Land to teach. So this is all my preparation, as much as I put in. It's my preparation so that I can go straight back and teach when I leave this life. I'm not going to spend ages and ages. I'm just going straight to teach. Nick, did you want to say something? Oh, I love to see you when you've got time. I know that you try and do a million things at the same time. Do you want to say anything?
No, sorry. I was in the car earlier, so I've been listening, but I'm back now.
No, it's
all lovely. Thank you.
No, we love it. We love it when you're there. Anyone else want anything about that? Because I want to do at least one more quote for you. Do you like these quotes? Are they helpful? Are they useful? I hope so, because I've really tried to take things that are very, very pertinent to your lives. You know, I think that's so important. All right, let's take the next quote, which is when Guru Rinpoche was giving Yeshe Tsogyal her lessons, her instructions. So I just want to take one paragraph from her instructions, okay? He said to her, mind, it's actually not there, it's here, mind and appearances, mind and appearances are not two separate things. Now listen, for the nature of mind, that's your true nature, for the nature of mind, clinging is a temporary condition. This is where we come to the hope, clinging to hope. Okay, I'll read it again. Whose expression, our clinging, creates the impression of things outside of yourself. They're not really outside of yourself. He says, if the temporary dualistic mind is purified, then appearances are purified. Because as soon as you stop saying, this is me, and that is what I'm seeing, that is what I'm encountering, that is my phone, that is my possessions, they're all outside of me. As soon as we stop that, if temporary dualistic mind is purified, then appearances are purified. And then you will see things as they really are, not as our little limited minds are seeing them outside. They come from inside. We create them. All the things that are difficult in our lives, we've created them. But they're not anything of themselves. As soon as I give up this dualistic mind, then everything becomes pure. It's all one. It's such an amazing quote. Can I read you the little quote again? Mind and appearances are not two separate things. For the nature of mind, clinging is a temporary condition whose expression creates the impression of things outside of yourself. If temporary dualistic mind is purified, then appearances are purified. I don't know about all of you, but I want to see pure appearances. Maybe you don't care. Maybe just if your life is okay, then you don't care. But I care so much that every time I see something horrible on the television, I go in my mind, I wonder how this would look if I could see it in the pure state. And I come back to the Buddhist story. You know, it's such a beautiful story, and I keep coming back to it because it's really important. I'll read it to you. I've got it right here. Just to remind you again. In the time of Buddha Shakyamuni, the disciple Sariputra, who was most excellent in primal awareness, debated the qualities of the realm of the fourth universal guide, Shakyamuni. Shariputra argued that the realm of Shakyamuni, the fourth Buddha, is an impure realm, strewn with rocks and stones and covered in thorn bushes, and that Shakyamuni Buddha and his retinue had shorter bodies, he said, than Buddhas residing in other realms. Bodhisattva Brahmajata, who had reached the 8th level of the Bodhisattva path, rejected Sariputra's claim about the inferiority of Shakyamuni's realm. He maintained that the realm of Shakyamuni, the fourth universal guide, has the same purity as the realm of the Buddha Varashanu, the highest Buddha field and the source of all Buddha field. They could not agree upon the issue and decided to approach Shakyamuni Buddha himself, for the answer. Buddha transformed the world. He could manifest it. For that moment, he transformed the world and its beings into a pure realm with his miraculous power in order to dispel the whole notion of inferior and superior. My realm is always like this, he said. Shariputra was amazed. Shakyamuni asked Sariputra, is it the fault of the sun or the inadequacy of the eye that a blind man cannot see things? It's the fault of the eye, Shariputra replied. My realm will always be like the one perceived by Brahmajata, the Buddha told him. The fault of not being able to see it is yours. Go on, see it, Jerry, you're sitting there. That's the story. It's a beautiful story. The Buddha had the ability to manifest pure, beautiful things, the pure real. So when he took away all the impure side for just a moment, but then as soon as he let it go, they were back to seeing it as impure. Now, I don't know about you, but I really, really, really want to see the pure world. I'm sick of seeing the world like this. It gives me absolutely the heebies. I want to see it as it really is, and I want you to see it as it really is. Then you won't feel so bad about the things you're going through. You think that's amusing, Bern? Anybody want to say anything? Just purify that dualistic mind. But the habit of seeing it in duality is really, really, really so profound for so many lifetimes. It takes a long time and a lot of practice. And in the bathroom, I always listen to Lama Lena, Karen's great teacher. She said she wants to bring her here. I said, bring her. It would be over. We'll get all the Australians to come and everything, okay? But when I'm listening to her, she says, just do it 2 minutes at a time, 1 minute at a time. She said, just sit and look into space and just allow your mind to be open and just see into the spaciousness of your mind. She said, and then everything will turn around. You'll get that nature. Once you get that nature and you touch it once or twice, you're in the pound seats. You're ready. None of this matters anymore. I've got lovely ones. I've got, what is the dividing line between hate and love? I've got another one about the countryside. I've got another one about the 3 doors of liberation. I've got lots. I've got all these quotes. You know, I've got so many in my books and everything.
Mel,
Yes,
just
please.
a thought, that if we all become enlightened,
Yes.
then we do not have a universe and we do not have any sentient being. So I'm trying to jump that stage and not come back. I'm arrogant. I mean, it sounds terribly arrogant, and I know it is, but I've had too many shitty lives, and I really don't want to come back.
Yeah, me too.
So I need everybody to become enlightened.
Good. I love it.
So that the universe disappears and there are no more inhabitants. And then another thing, Lama Lena wants to come here. So when I had my monthly Zoom with her,
Yeah.
and then I was talking to her, and she says, I've never been to South Africa. I really want to come.
Let her come.
And she said, speak to Misha. That's one of her attendants or whatever, translators, and see what you can organize. It depends on her health. And that's what it is. And then he sent me, you actually cannot believe what is required to bring her here.
Boy, I know it's
very, very unlikely because of her health.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's like a huge thing. I mean, it's like really, really big because anyway, I'm going off subject. I just wanted to mention that.
No, it's unbelievable. And you know what? I mean, I know from
That's why I asked you, because
yeah.
she doesn't do more than 100 in a group. That's why I thought that's the most impossible, like getting 100 people.
No, it's not at all impossible. We could get 100 people for her in a jiffy. That's not my problem. I mean, we could do it at the center, but the thing is,
no, you can't charge.
Yeah, no, you can't charge. But the thing is that, no, we've done lots of very amazing lamas before. But the thing is that also, I don't even know if I have the energy to do that, to bring them, but
Mm.
certainly you could try and get her on Zoom for us. You know, you could definitely, because that she might like it, and then I'll definitely see to it. She wants lots of black people. I'll get them. I've got lots of them. I'll get them to come in, you know, for her. But the point is that, you know, it is difficult when someone's elderly and they need special food.
Mm.
They need, it's really, really, it's
Yeah.
really a mega thing. And a lot
I
of
mean,
it,
she wants to be in a buzz. She wants to be in the cent,
yeah.
she doesn't want to
And
stay
then
in the
you
center.
take
She
her,
wants to be like in the city
and
and
then
where
you
she can have like local food. I mean,
yeah, it's
it's,
lots of things which are really, really
mm,
good and not safe for her. But the thing
mm,
is, but the thing is that, you know, I know because I've taken them also to the game parks because she would
mm.
love it in the
Well,
game.
that's what I thought because that would be easy for me, but that's not what she wants.
Yeah,
So,
no, she wants to be in the city. Look,
anyway,
it's not a great idea at this point
no,
because
no, no. And I don't think I don't think she realizes. I just learned afterwards that she probably won't even be going to Europe.
yeah, no, I
So,
understand that completely. But
mm,
we can try and get her on Zoom. That'll
well,
be
I'll
the
see.
most
Mm,
amazing thing. Try because on Zoom
mm.
she does so many Zoom things. You could say, "Well, can you see the Africans? We can even get some of our African other centers to come on. You know, I mean, we can
Mm,
get them. We can get from Democratic Republic of the Congo. They've got groups. Drupan's got groups there. We can get them to come.
mm,
You know. So if she comes on
mm,
Zoom, it'll be a lot easier, you know, for her to come to us. It would be wonderful.
mm,
But you know, her teaching, when you really listen to it, her
mm,
teaching is beyond. Okay, I mean,
mm,
her teaching, you can't get upset with her swearing, with this kind of thing,
mm,
that kind of thing. She is really very enlightened, and I think she could help me so much with my practice. I really,
mm,
really do. But the bottom line is, just mute yourself for a minute, Carl. The bottom line is that that one of the things that she says over and over again is that we really, really, really need to make a concentrated effort in our day, even of 2 minutes at a time, to touch that nature. And how do you do it? Let's do it before you go today. Let's just do what she's teaching, which is very beautiful. Then we'll end. So, what she's saying is all the thoughts, all the objects, all the things, the phenomena that we keep on being attached to, that we keep on being involved with, that we keep on working out. How is it going to be? What is it going to be? How should I do this? How should I do that? She says, let it all be. And as you take a breath, you can breathe in through your mouth, leave your mouth a little bit open. And you can also breathe into the nose if you want, but mainly through the mouth. You take a deep breath in, totally. And when you breathe out, you make the out breath longer than the in breath because you're letting it all out. There is no attachment to what you are letting out. You just let it be totally and utterly. All the things we're holding on with, all the things we're working out, all the things we are protecting, all the things we want to happen, all the hopes, the fears, the thoughts, the analyses, just let them be. And keep coming back when you do the in-breath to your true nature, how is that true nature? She says there are no words. You can't have words to describe the true nature, but we use words just to help us to get there. Openness, spaciousness. The ness is full of possibility. Your eyes are wide open or partially open. The sky is wide, blue, emptiness. But is it nothingness? No. It's everythingness. If we look into that space, we start to see little squiggles of awareness in front of our eyes. The emptiness, the spaciousness, the openness is full of awareness, full of knowing, full of cognizance, full of everythingness. So it's not just nothingness. When you begin to touch this, you don't have to think about it anymore. It just is right there, right within you. And you keep reminding yourself all day. You're working, you're looking after kids, you're doing your housework, you're doing things. You just sit for 1 minute and touch it. That luminous openness, that spaciousness, that part of you that knows. You just allow it. Nothing more. So simple. The Dzogchen is so simple that it's almost ridiculous. There are no concepts. There are not millions of steps. It's just sitting or standing and being right there with it, open. I'm just finishing with one little quote from Dilgo Khyentse. He says, "The towns and countryside that the traveller sees through the train window do not slow down the train, nor does the train affect them. Neither disturbs the other. This is how you should see the thoughts that pass through your mind when you meditate. Just like looking through the train window, and they're all passing. None of them affect the train, and the train isn't affected by them." Let's dedicate Bern, and then I'll answer anything anyone wants. We dedicate to all the beings who are really suffering so badly, everywhere, in Iran, in Syria, in Sudan, in the Middle East, in every single country where people are suffering, where wars are going on, where in Ukraine, everywhere where people are suffering and wondering how they're going to do the next day without electricity, without all the things that they need. If there's any merit in what we've talked about today, may, through this merit, may all beings attain omniscience, may all obscurations fall away from the stormy waves of birth, old age, sickness, and death. From the ocean of samsara, may all beings be freed. Sonam die tamche zipane tokne ne petranam pamshene chegana jibalak dropaye sipe sole doa dro warsho.